Everybody tryna go, yeah, the party jumping off. Hey, we putting on a show, tryna catch a vibe. We do this every time, like na 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 na. Feeling like I'm on the highway, cause everything been going my way. And now they looking at me sideways. I'm like na 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 na. This is where I wanna be, na na na. Never ever gonna leave, na na na. You ain't gonna get it from me. I'm like na 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 na. This is where I wanna stay, na na na. I could do this every day, na na na. It don't matter what they say. I'm like na 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 na. Say hey, I've been on the wave. It's a party, make a toast. It's a party every day. So anywhere you go, all across the coast, we do it every time, like na 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 na. I got nothing but the highlights. Can't believe that this is my life. I'm only living on the bright side. I'm like na 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 na.
Every time I see you, I'm caught up in the feeling. I get tunnel vision. Every time I see you, everything around you fades into the wind, and my heart is thrown open. Feels like slow motion. I never knew the feeling until you. Every time I see you, I'm caught up in your magic. When I fall to pieces, you pull me back together, and when we are together, my feet don't touch the ground. When my world is black and white, you color me back to life. I never knew the feeling until you. I never knew the feeling until you. With you, I know I'll be loved. With you, I know I am whole. When I look in your eyes, I can see it so shine, brighter than the sunrise, forever and always with you. I know I am whole, whenever I'm with you.
Welcome, everybody. As soon as I get the tears out of my eyes from watching that dance, I will continue. But that was beautiful. Wednesday, the family arrived here. We got to share some good time together. A lot of good food, thanks to Mike and Dara. Yeah. Thursday, things started getting decorated. Friday, we're moving the booze. We're over here, and things were getting really crazy. And then Saturday, November 5th, actually dawned. And here we are. And I'm just going to say two quick things, because this is my short one, but Corina, I love you. You have been my daughter for a long time. But today, you're officially my daughter. And I love you. And I can't wait to get some more happy huggy dances, because that's our thing. And Jonathan, my son, my eldest son, I'm very, very proud of you. It's always great when your son surpasses you in our chosen field of what we do in life. And And I find myself all the time calling him for information, how to do something. But you know what? I'm happy about that. It makes me proud. Now, one thing, John, in your vows, you said that we were talking about doing dishes, right? Okay. Now, when John was like 15, 16 years old, and his chore was to do dishes, he told me that doing dishes was the bane of his existence. That's right, huh? That's a true story. So when I heard that, I was like, yeah, right, okay. Anyway, hey, congratulations, you guys. I love you both very much. I love the family that we've joined. The House Tapscott and the Clan Navoa is now one.
Okay, so I'd like to start by congratulating the groom on his excellent taste in best men. Really nailed it, I think. Really outdone himself this time. I'm happy to say that we've now gotten to the part of the evening where we get to watch John tightly grip the tablecloths as an anticipation as I'm about to give my speech, so watch him closely. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Jake, and I have had the pleasure of knowing John for a fantastic 16 years. We just had the realization that is now half my life, so yeah. John and I first met back in high school. He and I would take the same bus to and from school, and we lived 2 houses down from one another. We'd spend those days talking about the latest video games, geeking out over computer hardware like it's a dirty magazine or something. And laying the groundwork for our schemes to convince both our parents to let us play Halo, even though it was a mature game, but they did not know that. All very good memories. For those of you who did not have the pleasure of knowing John in high school, let me tell you, he was a completely different animal than he is today. John was the kid that weirdly had his pockets full of the most random stuff. He would have calculators, staplers. He even pulled out full-size calculators out of his pockets at times and Webster dictionaries to contradict you, so that was a really good time. We used to give him a very hard time about that. For a while, we actually called him Pockets. He was incredibly stubborn, sarcastic, and loved to push just the right buttons to get a reaction. Maybe some of those qualities haven't changed so much today. For John and I both, though, high school was a very challenging time in our lives. But despite all that, we muddled through it together. Personally, I think that late-night gaming sessions and harmless mischief are probably in part to blame for that. More than that, though, John was someone I could always talk to and rely on, and that is something I'll always be grateful for. When John became a junior in high school, I distinctly remember a time and many late-night conversations of him gathering the courage to ask a certain Corina out on a date. You might want to wait, because when he finally did, she said no. Despite this, stubborn John was certain that there was a spark between them and told me his plan to ask Corina out again. Now, being his best friend, worrying for John's feelings, I tried many times to convince him to leave the poor girl alone, but thankfully, he ignored me and followed his heart instead. If you couldn't guess, Corina did eventually say yes. And now here they are. Let me tell you, though, I have never been more grateful for stubborn John. John and I remained very close friends over the years, and we spent many memorable summers together. One of our favorite vacations, which we've done a few times now, were spent at a very small lakeside camp in the boonies, very boonies of Proctor, Montana, at a small camp called Camp Tuffet. There was no running water there. Here we go. Visiting Camp Tuffet was my family tradition for about 60 years. So like most family traditions, mine had some very strange family traditions, one of which particularly stands out, where you had to kiss the first fish that you catch. So let me paint the picture a little bit. John and Corina are anxiously on the boat trying to catch their first fish, one before the other. John hooks one and starts reeling like a crazy bastard as fast as he can to get that fish out before Corina. And then Corina, just seconds later, also catches a fish, and now she's going ham trying to reel that fish as fast as she can. Naturally, of course, all of us, everyone else, being regular fishermen, thought that they had just hooked each other's lines. But as the fish began to surface, everyone watched in awe as, I swear to God, they craned the fish out of the water as one head hooked the back of the fish, and the other head hooked the front of the fish, and they both reeled the same damn fish out of the water at the same time. Now, I have fished a lot, and I have never seen that before. Needless to say, John and Corina shared their first fish kiss. And if that isn't some crazy messed up sign of love, I don't know what is. I have had the wonderful pleasure of watching both Corina and John be a part of one another's lives for some time now, and the joy of being there to share their friendship over the years. Thinking about it, one of the reasons this wedding has felt so surreal these last few days is because, to me, they have already so obviously become inseparable in each other's lives for a very long time. They have already built a life with one another. They have already built a life surrounded by friends who wouldn't trade them for the world, family that loves them dearly, and host game nights and treat you like home. So, everyone, please raise your glasses to my dear friends, John and Corina. To John and Corina. Cheers.
Give him a hug, Jake.
Oh, man. Good evening. There comes a moment in everyone's lives when they find the one they can't spend another day without. That moment came to John 24 years ago when he met me. For those who don't know me, I'm Anthony, John's younger but stronger brother. John, thank you for having me as a groomsman. I'd also like to say how beautiful most of you look. But take a look at Corina. Corina, you are stunning. And John, you look okay too. You don't normally look this good, but it's probably because you're right next to Corina. Growing up, John and I went through a lot. John developed a knack for electronics and gadgets and computers and nerdy stuff. I developed incredibly good looks. John grew towards playing D&D and other games, and I still had my good looks. As most of you know, I actually lived with John and Corina. During that time, we spent late nights ordering Barro's Pizza and playing blackjack. Most weeks, I was throwing down 3 or 4 slices of that raw bread dripping with oil and melted cheese while watching John hit a 19 against a 16 in blackjack. John is very intelligent, but when it comes to simple blackjack math, he loses his mind. Thankfully, John was extremely smart when it came to Corina. In fact, you were such a stud over 12 years ago, I still can't believe Corina accepted you on your first time asking her out. Oh, wait, hold on. Second time. Fifth time, okay. But hey, look where your confidence and your commitment got you today. For the record, I knew Corina was the one for you when you specifically made custom iced sugar cookies from Paradise Bakery, and you brought them home to John's little brother, me. Corina, we shared some of our deepest conversations every Friday night. I would come home after working a few 17-hour shifts, and you would greet me at the door with the finest handle of $10 gin you had. To this day, to this day, whenever we have the chance, we still take that brother-sister shot. Corina, thank you for always being there with advice, even after we were a bit inebriated. John, remember when Corina came back to taped roads and bridges throughout the entire house just to find us racing our FPV Mario and Luigi karts all over the house? Now I realize why Corina would go straight for that dirty martini. We were a mess. Not to rub it in, John, but I won all of the races. But you clearly won tonight. Corina and John, I have and will always look up to you. Please raise your glasses for an official brother-sister toast. I love you both.
Hey, cheers! Give it up one more time for Anthony. Or as he's affectionately known as the humble one.
All right, thanks guys for having me here. I appreciate you. If you hadn't had the chance to meet me yet, my name is Erica. Corina and I have been the best of friends for roughly 22 years. We met in kindergarten and stuck together like glue from that point forward, creating a lifetime of memories together. I am eternally grateful to say Corina is like a sister to me. The truth is, this gorgeous woman right here has been my lifelong teacher and role model. Oh. You see, it takes a special person to find the root of joy in another. This woman can make me and those around her laugh till their cheeks and stomach ache. Those few with a weak bladder, well, I can honestly say I don't quite know how many times tears ran down my legs, if you know what I mean. It's like her superpower. When it comes to the people she loves, she's all in. Corina has been the most dependable figure in my life, always picking me up when I am down and moving mountains to help in any way, shape, or form. Corina, you love so deeply, selflessly, and unconditionally. These are a few of the many reasons everyone here is better for knowing you. You are truly a gem. So obviously I'm a little protective of Corina. And I was a bit skeptical of John when he first came into the picture. I remember getting a phone call going something like this. Oh my God, there's this boy in orchestra class, and I think he likes me. He asked me to prom. This was the beginning of the love story I would hear so much about. Now, admittedly, John and I didn't get along great at the start. However, after a nice sit down, we were able to get on the same page. That's when I gained another partner in crime. You see, I've always had the ability to kind of pull Corina out of her shell a little bit and maybe get her to break a few rules now and then. John had the same ability. So together, if there was a 12-foot elephant statue that we wanted to ride, John would be the guy hoisting us up to ride it. Now, if John wanted to drive backwards through a Jack in the Box drive-thru, there I was, cheering him on. In John, Corina has found someone she can depend on for life. In fact, John is the guy who could be depended on for countless things. Break your computer, John is the guy. Need help with insurance companies, John is the guy. Desperately want to surprise Corina, John again. He had helped me with so many surprises, so when he asked for my assistance in a grand surprise for the lovely Corina, of course, the answer was yes. Little did I know we would be all traveling internationally to pull this one off. For months, we made plans right under Corina's nose. Love you. Somehow, we all miraculously ended up in Spain for the adventure of a lifetime. As we explored, John and I jumped through hoops to keep the surprise from Corina, till the perfect moment finally occurred. The proposal. From that day forward, John was to be Corina's forever person, and I couldn't imagine anyone else I'd rather it be. These two are a rare find in today's world. When I see them together, I see two people in the most loving, trustworthy, and nurturing relationship I have ever witnessed. Together, you have the ability to conquer anything life may throw at you and accomplish any goals and desires the two of you may have. So dream big. I can't say enough how truly grateful I am to have you both in my life. I wish you both a lifetime of happiness, understanding, and joy. I'd like to invite everyone to raise their glass to the happy couple. Here's to the bride, who has a groom so fair, and here's to the groom with a bride so rare. Cheers.
All right, you've all done it. We're almost to the end of our speeches. One more, buckle up, we're doing the thing. As mentioned, my name is Charlotte. I'm one of Corina's maids of honor and best friend of 13 years. And I know we've said this a lot tonight, but it is really so lovely to be here with all of you. We've waited for this for a really long time. And I couldn't imagine it going any better than it has. So let's see. When I think about Corina, when I think about my best friend, I think about, there's a theme here, laughing so hard that I pee my pants. I bet there are at least a couple of you out there who can corroborate that story and may have a story of your own. I think about sake bombs and late night chats, and I think about dancing to Usher at 2 a.m. I think about always having a place to call home. I think about sitting in a coffee shop for hours talking about who we are and who we want to be and where we're going in this life. Corina has always provided me the most undeniable, genuine, unconditional love I think I've ever felt in another human being. She's loved and believed in me when I haven't loved and believed in myself. Again, I'm sure a lot of you have a story like that. To know Corina is to know what it's like to laugh from deep within your belly, those laughs that make you feel like everything's going to be okay. To know Corina is to know what it's like to be held and nurtured in ways you didn't really know you needed to be held and nurtured. Corina is a part of me, and she will always be a part of me. So again, we have a theme here. When I first met John, I was like, who's this guy? And it's not because of who he is or what he brought to the table. It was because I'm so protective of this expansive, beautiful woman that I was like, this is the first boyfriend. It's not going to last. Come on, next. And for the rest of my life, I will be eating those words because throughout the years, John has become one of my absolute favorite people. When I think about John, I think about chosen family. I think about protection. I think about support, and support in the ways you don't really know you need to be supported until he's sitting in it with you. Sorry. A couple years ago, John and Corina had gotten their first 3D printer, and he was printing this little tiny boat. Now, apparently that's a good way to calibrate the printer. I don't know, you can talk to John about it afterwards. But we were sitting around doing nerdy things, playing board games, and he printed this little boat and he gave it to me. And it wasn't meant to be a really sentimental thing. He was like, hey, I have this piece of garbage, you want it? And I did. And to this day, I still have that little boat. I carry it around in my purse everywhere that I go because it reminds me that there are people in the world like John, and that reminds me that there's someone in the world who loves my best friend just as much as I do, maybe if not more. I don't know, it's debatable. But when I think about you two, I think about the fact that you are two of the greatest people I have ever known in my entire life. And it's been such an honor and a privilege to grow with you and to watch you grow. Again, a theme here, your love is rare, and being a part of it and getting to witness it is one of the greatest joys of my life. So, I'm so thankful you two exist and have allowed me to be a part of your journey. Let's all raise a glass to Mr. and Mrs. Navoa. Cheers, everybody.
Keep that applause going for all our toasters tonight. And now, friends and family, we get the honor of hearing from our guests of honor. So would you please, and make this one count, put your hands together for John and Corina, everyone.
So this is just going to be quick, but I wanted to thank each and every person that came out tonight. I know that it's a little cold. You can see my breath. But all of you are here because you're our favorite people in the entire world. You are our support system, and everything that Corina and I do wouldn't be possible without all the people at this Ramada tonight. I'm grateful for every one of my groomsmen. You guys are all amazing and support me through everything that I go through in life. And I would not have anyone else up here other than you guys, and so thank you. To Corina's bridesmaids, not only do they look great, and well, her brother too, her bridesman, they are an amazing support system for Corina, and they support her more than I do in reality. I love all of you. Thank you for supporting my best friend and now my wife, and I'm so thankful for you. I know it's a little gushy, but really, we just wanted to stand up, take a moment, and thank each and every person here. So thank you.
Ditto.
Yes.
It's like finding a treasure that's always been hiding. The first time that I see inside
It's been a while since we felt the way we did back when we were dumb and younger. It's been a while since I looked into your eyes and saw starlight, bold, bright colors. Yeah, when I'm down, when I'm dry, no one else. I would choose you over and over. I would choose you over and over. I would choose you over and over again, again. And after all we've been through, there's no one else for me but you. I would choose you over and over again, again. You are the real thing. The novel before the film, all the nuance, every letter. And you do things to me like they have never been done. A love like ours could last forever and ever. When I'm down, when I'm dry, no one else, no one. I would choose you over and over. I would choose you over and over. I would choose you over and over again, again. And after all we've been through, there's no one else for me but you. I would choose you over and over again, again. When I'm down, when I'm dry, no one else, no one. I would choose you over and over. I would choose you over and over. I would choose you over and over again, again. I would choose you over and over. I would choose you over and over. I would choose you over and over again, again. I would choose you over and over. I would choose you over and over. I would choose you over and over again, again. And after all we've been through, there's no one else for me but you. I would choose you over and over again, again. I would choose you over and over. I would choose you over and over. I would choose you over and over again, again.
Question number 1. Who initiated the first kiss? Hey! I love the confidence that you guys answer with, and good for you, John. Good for you. Point for the newlyweds. Who is more romantic? No match, unfortunately, but that just means your house is going to be full of love, right? All right, next question. Who is the better cook? There we go. Awesome. That's great. Next question. Who is more patient? Match, a point for the newlyweds. You guys can clap. It's okay. Come on. Who said, I love you first? John had a little switcheroo, but another point for the newlyweds. Who takes longer to get ready? You guys got matched, but you guys didn't know, John, you were so sure about that answer, and Corina debated a little bit, which I enjoyed seeing. All right, who, and I think we're seeing a little bit of this right now, who's more competitive? Point for the newlyweds, but another hesitant answer from Corina, which I think is funny. I want to play board games with you guys, that's for sure. Who? Yeah, I do. Now, in that spirit, who's more competitive, but who is the first to say, I'm sorry? Point for the newlyweds. There we go. All right, next question. Who is messier? Yeah, hey, that's great right there. Give it up for a match. Give it up for a match. We can play board games at my house, though, okay? Who is more likely to be running late? There we go, match. Awesome. All right. Who is the better singer? There we go, match for the newlyweds. There we go. You guys were band nerds, right? Not choir nerds. That's right. I was both, so I get the. All right. Orchestra, that's just a form. Anyway. Who has the more extensive wardrobe? No question about that one. Another point for the newlyweds. We got two more questions. Who is always right? John knew. Corina, you don't even have to answer. John did the right question. You know well, brother. You know well. That's for sure. It's going to serve you well in the future. All right, last question. It's a very important question. So please consider your answer. Who do you love the most? There we go. That is the right answer. We're supposed to match, but that is the shoe game, everybody. Let's give it up for John and Corina one more time. Bob and Mary Francis, give it up for Bob and Mary. How long have you two been married?
53 years. 53 years.
Wow, 53 years. Wow. And any advice in your 53 years?
Sure. You should each feel like the other person does more.
That's really insightful and really nice. That's fantastic. And for you, sir?
Same thing.
Yeah, and that is insightful as well, right there. That is smart.